This game, holy shit, this game has to be the greatest game I have ever seen. Give whoever came up with this a medal of some sort, bro. They deserve it. Alright, boys and girls, it is that time of year once again. The time where kids go out in costumes to get some candy, adults go out in shit costumes to get with other adults in shit costumes, and most predominantly, where every sort of horror media gets to shine and terrify just about everyone for a whole 31 days. Horror and October just go hand in hand with each other, just like peanut butter and jelly, wine and cheese, ice cream and rising murder rates. What the fuck? My point being is that you just cannot get away from any sort of famous media that is horror related in October. It is genuinely impossible due to it being a widespread culture in modern times, which is why for this month of October, instead of looking at popular horror games that everybody knows, or games that are very niche but are very loved for being terrifying, I want to take a look at the most bottom of the barrel shit, the worst of the worst, the creme de la creme if creme was made of dookie. I just want to take these few weeks to talk about games that are the biggest headache to play, starting off with the game that makes me want to play E.T. on the Atari instead, that being the game known as Ebola. Yeah, you heard me right, this game is titled Ebola. Uploaded to the public in January of 2019, Ebola is an obvious copy of Resident Evil. I'll explain how so in a little bit, but regardless, this game was created by the team known as Indie_Game, another underscore studios. Holy shit, dude, what a godly name. Ebola, the deadly virus that killed many in 2013, gets a game named after it by the studio that is literally named in the most broken English ever. Oh my god, guys, you are in for a treat. Fun fact though, this development team is not actually a team. It's run by one single guy in Kazakhstan who is known as Vitali. So props for you for being able to make this game alongside with the other 21 games that you've released. That takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but that's where my props to this game and the game studio ends. Ebola sucks. It is genuinely the worst game I have ever played in my life, from the story to the gameplay. Even the readables in this game is just awful. I despise this game with a burning passion in my heart, and I assure you guys that you will as well by the end of this video. So with that said, sit back, relax, and watch as this Spider-Man humanoid will blind you in one hit and then proceed to brutally murder you. You apparently are this guy named Logan who is entering a quarantine cyberpunk version of Raccoon City to investigate an outbreak of the E-virus created by a pharmacy company that I do not remember. You start off by the outskirts of the city with your goal to enter the sewer system where the outbreak originally started. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that this game is just extremely ugly with text-to-speech voice acting going along with it all?
Help me. I'm on the 48th floor. These horrible creatures are everywhere.
Who are you? What happened here?
I am a Grand Block scientist. There has been a linkage of the E-virus. Who are you? Will you help me?
I'm a secret journalist, Newsline Newspapers. My brother is a private detective, with great connections. I settled into the Panicum Corporation, under false documents.
Yeah, you know you're really in for a treat when fucking Farmville looks more appealing than the first 5 minutes of this game. Once entering the sewer, you enter the tutorial, I guess? You have to pass through a locked door which indicates that the company that you're after, which I forgot the name still, is here. And to get through it, you have to explore a couple of rooms to learn about looting, lockpicking, and how to save the game. And that's alright, I'm very happy to learn at least how to play this game, but here is where I want to discuss how this game just loves to resemble Resident Evil, because it's very apparent. The inventory in this game has the limited space, just like how Resident Evil worked throughout their entire series. The gunplay, even though the aiming is the most atrocious thing I have ever seen in my life, clearly copies that of Resident Evil 7 and of Village. The save room has some warm, inviting colors with no enemies in there, safe and calming music with you only being able to save there when you have a dream catcher, just like the ink being used on the typewriter. Hell, the main objective of this game is to take down Big Name Pharmacy that created the one-letter virus name that creates zombies, and if you didn't think that was enough, look at the title and its font. How is that not a just clear copy of Resident Evil? And like, I don't care if this game solely tries to copy another title. Every form of media has copied something else beforehand. It's just an inevitable thing at this point. But this game is so awful and to the brink of being unplayable. I'll talk about that soon. And it's like, if you cannot do better than what you're basing your game off of, let alone create something that can be even known as good. Why would you make this? Everything in this game seems broken, even down to the written text that you can find throughout your playthrough. In fact, let's read over one of these texts so you know what I'm talking about. These letters that you can find throughout the entire game are extremely important to progress in Ebola, as they can lead you to a secret area full of supplies, or just make you full-on progress the game. But take a look at this one letter that you find 10 minutes after the tutorial that can help you find a shit ton of ammos and supplies to keep you alive.
We were in ambush. The creatures surrounded us. We have 3 clips cartridge. Okay. We have 3 clips cartridges. There are no drugs, and in general, there is no fuck. Luke and Alexander were bitten. Jacob and Oliver were killed, as were 3 new ones. We spent on them the whole arsenal, and they had a fuck. They got up what? They got up and again came at us. What a pity that we later found their vulnerable place. This is the end. You can eliminate them only by completely destroying the brain. We will not last long and most likely will die right here. Block B, cartridges remain in the western room in my personal closet, but we cannot get there. Fucked up. I hope at least I hope at least someone will read this fucking note, and at least someone will need my ammunition. Password from the box with ammunition 7812. Kill these creatures. Oh, kill all these creatures. Oh, don't worry, man. Someone read it. Don't even worry. I got you with that one.
I shit you not, when I read this initially, I laughed for a straight 5 minutes. And there was no fuck. God damn, bro. We got William Shakespeare writing this. Anyways, after you learn the basics of the game, you get to unlock the door, and you're met with a security guard. Oh my god, what a relief. It's great that you now have a helping hand and a zombie. Oh my god, it's a zombie. Holy shit. Let me just shoot it in the head until it lays down gently and dies respectfully. This game, man, I can't. Anyways, after dealing with that zombie, and after turning on the elevator with an alright puzzle, you're now on your own. You can now start to roam and loot whatever you want in the 9 different floors in this game, as this is where you'll primarily be throughout the entire game. However, since most of the floors are initially locked, you will have to enter the 3rd floor, where you encounter the most dynamic character in the game, Woman. She's the badass, rough and tough lady who takes no shit from anyone, and when you encounter her, she already has a gun in your head waiting to pull the trigger, and if you decide to put a lead bullet in her head, she's too strong and she just rejects that wound and kills you first. In fact, she's so badass, when you find out she hates the company that you also hate, she saves you by killing a zombie that just gained teleportation powers. Oh wow, what a badass. After exploring some rooms, you eventually go into the next floor, that being floor 4. You'll start to notice in one of the rooms a phone ringing, to which you can hear a scientist is trapped on another floor and that you need to save her. Now, I could tell you if you end up saving the scientist who is trapped by the E-virus infected, however, I do not know this case because I stopped playing. Yeah, I ceased playing the world's scariest game, not because the story is shit, not because the game looks to be made from that of a 5-year-old with schizophrenia. No, I stopped playing this game because it's genuinely one of the hardest games I have ever played in my life. Yeah, you heard me right. This game is borderline unplayable just because of how hard it is. To put in perspective what I had to suffer through in order to reach from the start of the game to the 2nd save state, which is on the floor that I briefly discussed, it took me a solid hour and a half to get there. And even when I was able to get to that 2nd save state, I was basically in a soft lock state, as the new enemy that you meet on this floor is a spider-like infected that is able to 3-shot you, climb onto the ceiling, take an entire Glock magazine and a half to kill, and on top of that, these motherfuckers can for some reason enact the power of God itself and just clip through the walls to kill you in a safe state, the place where no enemies are supposed to go. And when you pair that with the respawning zombies that, just like the spiders, will blind you and slow you down immensely after hitting you just once, putting you into a stun lock, disproportional sounds that come from the zombies zombies no matter what floor you're in, and gunplay with aiming that is the most tedious thing in the world, you're just not gonna have fun at all. Like, you're probably looking at this video calling me a pussy or a coward or some shit for stopping the game after less than 2 hours, but I swear to you, the moment you play the game, which by the way is $14 on Steam and for some reason needs 6 whole gigabytes of RAM, you'll be wanting to uninstall this game, get a refund, and I don't know, play Red Dead Redemption 2 or some game that is infinitely better than this. All in all, Ebola is awful. It is genuinely the worst thing I have ever played in my life. I know I really didn't go in depth on this. I don't even want to call a game, and I know I didn't talk about the rest of the story or the bosses or even something as simple as the sound design, but rest assured they all suck equally. I went into this game with little expectation. The cover art, trailer, and screenshots looked atrocious on the store page, and when I started playing I was just laughing at all the funny bad things that are in here, but somehow this game was far below my expectations. I left this game angry, bitter, and I'm a changed man. Maybe one of these days this changed man will come back to revisit Ebola, but for the time being I got all I needed to know about this game early on, and I don't want to touch it anytime soon. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like this video, please, and I mean please, like this video and subscribe, because I hate to say it, but after October is over, I'll be making this into a series and covering Ebola 2, which is regarded as an even more difficult and unpleasant game, and then eventually Ebola 3, the game that for some reason semi blew up in popularity on Steam. So with that said, thank you guys once again for watching this, and I'll regrettably see you all in another Ebola video soon. Bye for now.